We know that communication is key for business success. So what steps can we take to make sure that we communicate more effectively? Prior to understanding the 3 pillars of communication, it's important we get the definition right. Barker defines communication initially as the act of transmitting information effectively. So if we actually apply this definition in the context of a transmitter, in this case myself, talking to you, the receiver, what exactly is it that allows us to assess whether communication has been effective? So straight away, we can see that the actual definition listed is misleading. It needs to be flipped around. Why? Because communication does not begin with transmission, it begins with reception. And this brings us straight to the 3 pillars of communication. The first pillar of communication is attention. Now say that you're driving down a highway and there's a police siren behind you. You know that you either have to pull over or let the police person go past, depending on the situation itself. Similarly, if you have a friend in a crowded room who's waving at you, now this attempt at communication by your friend will only be effective when and only you pay attention. Now, using these examples, you may start to wonder that everything around you has the potential to communicate with you, and the truth is that really is right. However, these things can only communicate with you if you notice them. Hence why attention is the first core pillar of communication. Now the second core pillar of communication is comprehension. Attention isn't the only thing that allows for effective communication. It's important to ensure that we comprehend what we are paying attention to. Now, if you look at the following image, what do you see? A white triangle, perhaps? Now, the key thing to notice here is there is no white triangle. However, what comprehension essentially is it's a pattern matching process. So we humans usually create meaning using mental patterns already in our brains that we've experienced in our own lives at some stage. Now, referring back to the diagram where we thought there was a white triangle, this is called the Kanita triangle. And what it basically shows us is the process of filling in gaps is something called perceptual communication. And that primarily leads to us knowing that everything we usually comprehend is a best guess of what's actually there. The third pillar of effective communication is context. Now, context is combining the attention and comprehension to actually make sense of what is there. So, say that I'm talking to you and I ask you, how are you? Your reply, I'm fine. We've already started to communicate effectively, firstly because I've got your attention. So that's been achieved. You've replied to me. And finally, you've replied to me, I'm fine. So the comprehension is also there. You understood what I was asking you. But now context, this is very important. Because the way that you replied to me, that could mean absolutely anything. What allows me to gain context of this is, say for example, the tone of your voice, your posture, our potential past relationship. Being able to read this is truly when we can understand the context of the situation. And these guys are the 3 core pillars of effective communication. In the next video, I'll be exploring the art of building rapport, also known as small talk. So if you like this video, please comment, like and subscribe. Keep your eye out for the next episode of this series. Thanks!